All right, what's going on YouTube? And so here it is. Here's the start of my project. It's a 1972 GMC C15. That's what it started out as. It was my grandfather's truck. He's had it for a long time. It's been in the family for a very long time. My stepdad, or my dad, he used it to fight the Yellowstone fires back in the 80s, and me and my family, we actually used this truck to move out to Seattle from Montana. So there's a lot of family history with this truck. It was given to me, it was passed down to me after my grandfather passed away, and I fully intended on keeping the truck, and I wasn't going to do anything to it. I was just going to keep it as it is, not fix anything. Whatever trim was missing, keep it missing. Just basic maintenance, just keep it running, keep it on the road, and just drive the hell out of it and have fun with it. But the motor started acting up on me, and I was just getting frustrated with it, so I decided to tear it all apart and do a full frame off on it. It's my first time doing anything this extensive, and I didn't realize what I was getting myself into until I got into it. And man, it sucks, but it is a lot of fun so far. So basically what my plans are is, like I said, full frame off. I'm bag bodied C15, if you will. So I already have, this is what I got done so far. Here's the body drop. I did a stock floor body drop, so I already cut the bottom of the frame out, and I got this 2x4 steel here welded in. That's 3/16 wall. I still got to cap these in right here and do the finish welds, finish passes on the bottom in here and up in here on both sides. I just wanted to get the body drop close to being done so I can get the cab set on so I can make the motor mounts. I plan on fully boxing in the frame front to rear just to stiffen it up a little bit, add some chassis bracing here and there, something like that right there, but that actually has to come out, and I'll get into that in a little bit. The truck itself, it's a 72 C10. It has rust on it. Like you can see the floorboards here. Floorboards are pretty rotten. I got to do both sides. The cab mount, that's straight through. I mean, there is no cab mount there whatsoever. So that's gonna be fun. So I think I'm gonna do a full custom floor on it. The original plan was I wanted to run the in-cab gas tank just to keep it, stock appearance, if you will. But since I'm running the 24 valve Cummins, I don't know how big that transmission tunnel is going to have to be. I kind of already marked the firewall where it needs to get cut for the bell housing. You can see little Sharpie marks right there, just little rough marks there, nothing too fancy. So it's going to be pretty big. I don't know how far back it's going to go. I'm hoping I can still use the stock gas tank location. If not, I'm going to have to get a fuel cell made, and that's what that is right there. My buddy gave me that. My buddy Nate hooked me up with this. It came out of a boat that he had. I think it's like it's a 30-something gallon tank. I don't know, but it actually extends over the frame rails here, and the only place I would want it would be right here, and it would sit right over the top of that, and that's just kind of it's a pain in the ass. But it is what it is. Make mistakes and stuff like that. So you just gotta roll with the punches. The reason why I went with the 24 valve is because everybody who's building a C10 is either rebuilding their 350s, they're putting big blocks in them, or they're LS swapping them, or putting some type of fuel ejected V8 in there. And I wanted to be completely different from everybody else. I wanted to do something I've never seen before in person. Originally, I was going to go with the 12 valve just because of the simplicity of the wiring and all that other kind of stuff. But for the life of me, I could not find a good deal on a motor. People were asking way too much for motors that have been overheated. They were bare motors, nothing to them. And I just didn't want to fork out the money for something that might be trashed. So I came across this. It was a screaming deal. Even if I have to use this as a core, I'm still coming out on top. So it was a little easier to swallow that, but the wiring is going to be a nightmare, but it'll be okay. I think I'm gonna send the wiring harness out to a company where they'll make it all standalone. We'll see. about that though. So 'cause I'm going to try to extend the wiring where I can, how I can, to try to hide all of it, because I just don't want, if I can help it, I just don't want any of this showing. I'll do something with it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But if I can't, then yeah, if it has to be like this, then so be it, and I'll leave it just like that. I don't know what I'm doing turbo wise yet. I'm kind of playing with the idea of doing a compound setup, but I'm not entirely set on that yet. I'm still kind of working that out in my head. I flipped the turbo manifold 180 degrees, so the turbo is actually sitting on top now, just to give it that I just think it looks a hell of a lot better, because before the turbo would actually sit kind of behind the alternator and hide. So as you can tell, I'm going to have some hood clearance problems, but I kind of knew that going into this, so that's okay. So we'll figure it out. So as of right now, the cab is sitting on the ground, so this is as low as the cab will get. I believe the frame's going to get sucked up a little bit when I do the body bushings on it. And what I did was, when I set the motor down, I put let me see if I can get this. There we go. I put a little piece of wood underneath the oil pan. Yeah, my oil pan's crushed. I got to replace it, but put a little spacer underneath there, so when the truck lays out, it's not sitting on the oil pan at all. So hopefully this is going to be the height of the motor. Hopefully it doesn't move too much. But before I do the custom motor mounts, I have to do the cab bushings, which I ordered from Energy Suspension. And according to the kit that they sell, you have to reuse your stock sleeves for the cab. And being this 72 truck from Montana, I'm not sure if any others are this bad, but I mean, if I'm going to do a frame off, I don't want to reuse something like this. That's just absolutely terrible. Even though I'm going to have to cut it down to about right here, I don't know. Something that's pitted and rusty like that, I'd rather buy new hardware, And LMC sells those for $20 a piece. And I priced out all the parts for the sleeves, nuts, bolts, all that stuff from them. It was around $100, and I don't know. I just think I could probably get it made for cheaper than that. So me and my buddy Brian, we're gonna try to come up with something that's cheaper, because I really don't want to spend $100 on something that's going to be a pain in the ass to fit. So plan is to remove the heater box, because I think the wheels are going to hit it. I'm not sure, but I think I'm just going to get rid of it. I'll still have heat somehow. And this is a factory AC truck. You can see the AC lines going to the firewall here. But the problem that I'm having is the Cummins mount for the AC compressor is right here, and you can tell frame rail is pretty close to that mount. You probably got about, what, good 2 inches, inch and a half right there maybe. So I need to find a compressor somewhere, or do get some measurements, see how far it's going to stick out. But if it sticks out, this far, it's kind of pointless, because I'm not going to notch my frame all the way up here and have, next to nothing up there, just so I can run AC. But that's something I got to figure out. And I'll figure that out down the road. For the time being, like I said, just going to do cab bushing so I can get the motor mounts done. And then I'm going to run an electric fan so this mechanical thing can go. Because you can see the core support's going to sit right there. And that mechanical fan's right on that core support. So what I'm going to do is pull this off, use the stock radiator location, run a push electric. I'm still figuring that out, which one I want to run, and then the intercooler will sit in front of the fan, and it should stack up pretty nice. Should be okay. We'll see how it goes. And I got to pull the windshield out. It's cracked anyway, so it's got to go. I'm gonna pull the dash pad out because it's all cracked. Truck sat for a while, so the condition of the dash pad's not very good. So what I'm gonna do is pull the dash pad off, fully shave the dash, try to make it smooth, and then, I gotta get all this stuff right here, whatever this stuff is they put in here, oops, for this drip rail here, the rain rail. So clean all this out, get all that rust out, get it down to bare metal, so I can paint the truck. I'm gonna keep it factory white. I love white cars. I don't know why. Just all the cars I own right now are white, and I don't know. I really don't want to do a color change on it. I want to try to keep it as factory looking as possible. So, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'll be running for suspension in the front, I'm running a Chad Chris drop member, which he custom made my lower control arms, because the ball joints for the C20s are actually, the diameter of them are actually quite a bit larger than the C10s. So he had his machine shop guy mill out, or use a lathe and bore out some of those ball joint cups for me. That's in that green tote right there. All that's going to go on soon once I get the cab on, because I need to get the cross member in to do the motor mount. Transmission wise, I'm going to go with the NV 4500. I'm a sucker for a 5-speed, man, and I just think it'd be fun to, you know, shift gears in this thing. So I'm going to have to get an NV 4500 transmission, custom driveline. I'm going to go down to Drivelines Northwest down in Fife and have them make me one when the time's right. So the truck will be an 8-lug, so technically it'll be a 3/4 ton. So here's the rear end for it right here, and I got hooked up with a posi for it, so that'll be fun. Got to put that in. Got to cut all the bracketry off, everything else, you know, all the panhard bar mount, that for the trailing arms. Just clean it up, and I want to get it painted, powder coated or whatever. Just, you know, not this nasty fucking rust color. So I want everything to look brand new. As far as the interior goes, I'm going to keep as much of this as I can, and I do have the clutch pedal assembly for the manuals. My buddy Andrew, he got a parts truck for free that would happen to be a manual. So when he stripped that down, I took the pedal assembly from him. Definitely not keeping this steering wheel. You can see it's kind of it's definitely seen better days. So I'm gonna run the aftermarket gauges in here, so that'll be fun to figure all that stuff out. Let's see if I'm forgetting anything else. As far as the back half goes, I'm gonna do there's a guy who makes a notch kit for it. He fully welds it in. All you do is put it on the frame, bolt it in place somewhere on an existing holes. I'm assuming maybe back here or something, or maybe around here. Just set on the frame, weld it in, then you cut out the middle where the axle goes, and you're pretty much fucking done. So that setup's a bag over axle rather. But I want to talk to him to see if he can incorporate a 5th wheel attachment, because I want to be able to tow with this thing. So I'm going to run a bag on bar setup for everyday suspension, and then I'll have helper bags over the rear axle for when I'm towing. So there's that. What else? Yeah, I mean, that's basically the rundown of the truck. I'm pretty excited with how it's looking so far, even though it's just a bunch of parts just kind of sitting together. Nothing, it's not coming together really, but it's there, you know. I can see how it's going to look, and, you know, man, I'm just excited. Just come out here and look at it. So I'll update this as often as I can. Hopefully somebody, you know, will benefit from it, but it's just, you know, document it for me, so I can kind of see how it all goes, and hopefully somebody out there, you know, will be inspired or whatever to build their truck that, you know, the way they want. So yeah, so I'll update this when I can. Hopefully I'll be able to post another video here in the next couple days to get the cab or to get the body bushings all done up. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching.